Triple H has been at the helm of WWE's creative team ever since 2022, and whilst Vince McMahon has managed to worm his way back in at times, it has been Triple H's decisions which have been the final, for the most part. Today McMahon is well out of the picture, and WWE's creative direction is in Triple H's vision, and this has seen him succeed with several wrestlers. However, some of these success stories, entertaining pushes, and certain wrestlers who have been turned into stars would not have been fathomable under McMahon. In fact, it is easy to imagine them being ruined, buried, and neglected under the old regime. Welcome to Honor Wrestling Club. In today's video we're counting down 10 Triple H success stories that Vince McMahon would likely have ruined. Welcome to the club. In number 10, we have Dominic Mysterio, who would most likely still be a cheesy babyface under Vince. However, Triple H had the vision to turn Mysterio heel, and the rest is history. The ascent of Dominic Mysterio has been gradual, but over time he has grown into a tremendously gifted heel, becoming more and more comfortable on the mic and in the ring over time under Triple H, and getting more heat than perhaps any heel in the whole business. However, the New Day is trying to give him a run for his money. When he was working under Vince, however, Mysterio was a completely generic babyface, backpacking off his father in a tag team. There is no guarantee he would have ever turned heel, let alone be handled so well if McMahon was still in charge. In number 9, we have Vince McMahon likely wouldn't have had the patience for the Sami Zayn bloodline story, and even though this was started under McMahon, it likely would have ended sooner. It should be noted that Sami Zayn being paired with the bloodline was something which began under Vince McMahon. However, there is no way that he would have had the patience to allow the terrific long-term story to play out in the way it did. Zayn would have been buried long before that, being made to look like a fool rather than a courageous babyface who fans rallied behind, before going on to main event one night of WrestleMania. In number 8, we have the Judgment Day, who likely would have split up ages ago, as much as fans may be wishing for that now. In just the first few months of the Judgment Day under Vince McMahon, the leader of the group, Edge, had already been attacked and replaced, so imagining it continuing for another few years would have been unfathomable under the former regime, especially given his track record of breaking up teams and factions in the brain-dead wisdom of trying to create short-term moments rather than fleshing out a division and thinking more long-term. Instead, the Judgment Day have become the #1 heel act on Raw for many years, creating stars and elevating names and becoming very successful and popular in the process, even if fans are getting a little sick of them now. In number 7, we have LA Knight, who would likely still be Max Dupree, as his potential was being ignored by McMahon. When LA Knight worked under Vince McMahon, he was completely repackaged to Max Dupree, dropping everything that made him successful in the first place, as he led the Maximum Male Models group in a dead-end direction. Triple H rectified this by bringing back his old gimmick, which led to him becoming one of the most over stars today. McMahon would not have pushed Knight, especially since he got over organically. For whatever reason, McMahon had such a rejection of potential stars who fans get behind naturally. Just ask Zack Ryder. In number 6, we have Bronson Reed, who was actually released by McMahon as he was never a fan. Under Triple H in 2024, Bronson Reed has become a star, steadily climbing up the card and breaking out when given the chance, even though he has suffered a heartbreakingly timed injury. However, this chance would never have been afforded to him under McMahon. The proof is in the fact that McMahon released Reed without ever allowing him any opportunity to prove himself on the main roster. In number 5, we have the Wyatt Six, who would never have succeeded under McMahon, as his booking of spooky gimmicks hardly ever worked. Literally the only one it has worked in was The Undertaker, and that was it. Aside from The Undertaker, and even then, it wasn't always perfect. Spooky gimmicks failed in WWE under Vince McMahon, who had a tendency of going too far and not knowing when too much creepiness was enough. The Wyatt Six faction would have suffered the same fate and would have been ruined by Vince. Triple H's approach has been much more patient than McMahon would ever dreamed of being when it comes to this act. In number 4, we have Vince McMahon's track record with Rhea Ripley was not good, and he failed with her booking time and time again. Even though Rhea Bloody Ripley has star painted all over her, Vince McMahon butchered Mami's booking as a singles competitor when she first arrived on the main roster, and then he allowed her to get lost in the women's tag team division. Given this history, it is easy to imagine Ripley getting ruined, stop-start pushes, and never reaching the level of stardom that she has managed to achieve under Triple H, which has seen her arguably becoming the biggest women's star outside of the Four Horsewomen ever since the Women's Revolution began. And speaking of women's wrestling, in at number 3, we have Damage Control, as Damage Control managed to create new stars and good storylines for the women's division. Triple H's first several months of booking of Damage Control didn't go too well, and if it were Vince in that position, the group would have likely split up or been buried. However, Triple H persisted and it eventually managed to succeed. Io became a great world champion, one of the most popular women in the company, and her storyline with Bayley was one of the best of 2024. McMahon was reportedly opposed to the idea of the group anyway, so it's hard to imagine it gaining any sort of traction under him. In number 2, we have Drew McIntyre, whose best work has come under Trips, as his babyface run under Vince was killing him. Vince McMahon was responsible for Drew McIntyre's brilliant rise in 2020 and a strong run during the pandemic era. However, he was also responsible for his all, and the awful direction his character took, losing his star power and becoming bland. McIntyre may very well have continued down this path if it weren't for Triple H coming into power and bringing about a fantastic heel turn. This turn has salvaged McIntyre and turned him back into one of the biggest and best stars in WWE today, and he's been thoroughly entertaining for the last year, probably WWE's MVP of the year. And another contender for WWE's MVP of the year, because in at number 1 we have Gunther, who was on his way to being buried by Vince. As reports suggested that Gunther was weeks away from losing his spot. One of Triple H's biggest success stories is that of the Ring General Gunther, who has broken the record for the longest Intercontinental title reign and the longest time spent in a traditional 30-man Royal Rumble, not to mention the fact he won King of the Ring and the World Heavyweight Championship. He is a certified star, and that is thanks to his booking, and he demands all your gratitude. Reports from the time, though, that being around May-June time of 2022, suggested that Vince McMahon was going to bury Gunther, with WrestleVotes via Give Me Sport noting in a report that he wasn't happy with a segment involving Gunther and R-Truth, so he was going to bury him and send him back to NXT. And that would have been a damn shame, as the Ring General's work over the past few years has been nothing short of sensational. However, that's our list. So what did you think? Which superstar under Triple H's regime that has been the most successful? Do you think Vince McMahon will ruin the most? Be sure to let me know in the comments down below. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, click the subscribe button and hit that notification bell to never miss out any of the fun content we produce here at Honor Wrestling Club. Be sure to check out our other videos and share them around with your friends. Go on, I know you're dying to, and I know your friends will love them too. However, that's all for now, so I'd like to thank you for watching and welcome you to the club. See ya.